Good morning, sir. Are you worried about these letters? Are you still writing to ministers letters like that? Have you not been behaving unconstitutionally by writing letters like that?
In the Borneo rainforest of Malaysia this week, Prince Charles is back again on familiar ground. How do we save the forests? It's a long-time passion. Now, leaked documents suggest it was also a source of quick profit and possibly a conflict of interest. Turns out, like the Queen's, his private estate, the Duchy of Cornwall, has millions invested offshore. And in just one buy and sell transaction, in just over a year, it tripled a $100,000 investment in a company that specialized in carbon offsetting. The Bermuda-based company was co-run by a longtime friend, Hugh Van Cutsem. The two met in university back in the 60s. A Guardian newspaper investigation followed the money. There are literally hundreds of documents on the company in the Paradise Papers. In the minutes of one board meeting in February 2007, we see the initial purchase right here. It's 50 shares. And a bit lower down, you see that the board unanimously agrees that the Duchy subscription be kept confidential, except for any disclosure required by law. And then we have this other document about a year and a half later, June 18th, 2008, mentioning the sale of those shares up here for $325,000. During that time, Prince Charles publicly promoted carbon offsetting 3 times within the first 7 months after the purchase, according to the BBC. In a statement, a spokesman for Clarence House told CBC News, the Prince has certainly never chosen to speak out on a topic simply because of a company that the Duchy may have invested in, that in the case of climate change, his views are well known. A Duchy spokesman added the Prince has no direct involvement in investment decisions and none has any tax advantage based on location. Nothing illegal here, but it will surely prompt demands for more royal transparency.
The real problem with these revelations, even if Charles had no knowledge whatsoever of what was going on, is that the optics are terrible. It paints the future King of Britain in a bad light. It damages the brand of the British monarchy.
And with the 2 most senior royals now in the spotlight, their wealth seems even further beyond our usual imagination. Nala Ayed, CBC News, London.
Agenda 21. Agenda 21.
A welly-clad Prince of Wales.
Has the Environment Agency done enough, sir?
Straight into local politics, but he couldn't resist a response.
You might very well think so. I couldn't possibly comment.
But comment he did, earlier in a village hall, amidst the acres of land which have been submerged in floodwaters for weeks now. And what he said, no doubt, picked up by a nearby camera crew, will resonate loudly in these parts.
What the frack is Mickey Mouse up to in Ohio? See, last month, Radio Disney employees traveled to 26 schools and science centers across the state promoting a program called Rockin' in Ohio. Sounds innocent enough, right? Well, turns out this initiative was entirely funded by none other than the Ohio Oil and Gas Energy Education Program, which in turn gets its money from, you guessed it, oil and gas companies. During the demonstration, the kids were shown interactive presentations about gas pipelines and encouraged to spread the message about the industry. Now, I'm just guessing here, but I doubt these kids were also taught that infertility and cancer-causing chemicals have been found in fracking water supplies, and that the practice is responsible for artificial earthquakes in Youngstown, Ohio. Unsurprisingly, the fracking indoctrination of Ohio's youth isn't sitting too well with environmental activists. In fact, one online petition urging Disney's CEO to shut down this program has already gathered over 80,000 signatures. So if you think the Magic Kingdom and oil belong together as well as water and oil, then let's break.
David Cameron visited an onshore oil drilling site on the Nottinghamshire-Lincolnshire border to promote his shale gas offer to councils. Environmentalists say fracking would be a very different, much riskier operation than this. David Cameron says it's an opportunity the country cannot afford to pass up.
We're saying as soon as a well is dug, the local community should get £100,000. They should get 1% of the revenues over the life of that well. That could be up to £10 million per well. And today we're announcing that the local council should keep 100% of the business rates. That could be £2 million, £3 million every year.
I would think the majority might be worried. I think they think about foundations of houses and the water table. I worry about the water table and the chemicals that are in the water, and a lot of water's pumped down along with sand, and it's really a worry.
Starting with Henry II and further back right to William the Conqueror and beyond that to Alfred the Great.
I went over the now familiar pattern. Wars of the Roses, Clarence, Henry Tudor, and of course the missing link in the royal chain.
All of that's okay, except that we now believe that Edward IV was himself illegitimate. Which means that Elizabeth was illegitimate, Henry VII was illegitimate anyway, so this whole Tudor dynasty is built on a lie. It means that you are the rightful King of England.
Well, there you go.
How do you feel about that?
Bloody awful, isn't it? I don't. Bit of a shock, isn't it? Bit of a shock.
Has it ever crossed your mind before?
No, it hasn't actually.
But you knew you were a Plantagenet.
Well, yes, I just said, oh yeah, well you go back so far and you somewhere along the line you're a Plantagenet, you know.